Hi, this is Kareen Saunders with Outer Banks Insider. Welcome to Down the Road, where we interview community members who live down the road from you. This show is sponsored by CMG Home Loans in Kildeville Hills, North Carolina, and our subscribers get early access to every episode, as well as exclusive access to all of our local in-depth reporting. We're here today with Braxton Hughes. He is a First Flight High School graduate who went on to play collegiate football at the University of Richmond, and he's about to travel to Brazil to play football. Thanks for joining us today, Braxton.
Thank you for having me.
So Braxton, tell us how you got into football originally.
So originally, I was always into sports since I was a baby. My mom has this picture of me like holding a football as like a toddler, and it was just something that was always been a part of my life. So growing up, when I was probably like 3 or 4, I started t-ball, and then it just progressed into basketball, into football. When I was like 7 or 8 years old, I think was when I first started playing, and fell in love with it, and it stayed a part of my life and still is to this day. So
yeah, what was it about football particularly that grabbed you?
I think it's the camaraderie of a team. I know basketball and baseball have it as well, and don't get me wrong, I love those as well. I played them all the way through high school, loved every minute of it. And but I don't know, there's just something about football, like just how much you got to put out on the line for your teammates and be there. And it's not an easy sport in terms of physicality, and you just really gotta. I don't know, all 11 men have to do their job or it's not going to work. So it's like relying on one another, a brotherhood, and it's just such an awesome game.
Right.
It really is. Yes, ma'am.
Right. Mm-hmm. So you played multiple sports through your high school career here at First Flight. Yeah. And where did you grow up?
I grew up here. Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. We moved here when we were little, and we grew up here.
Okay.
My family and I.
Nice. Mm-hmm. And you graduated 2018 from First Flight High School?
Yes, ma'am.
And so you were the quarterback for the football team, and then you went on to be the quarterback at the University of Richmond.
Yes, but I wasn't like a starter or anything in the University of Richmond. I found my role mainly on special teams as the holder, but I loved it. I felt like I was a great leader like in that role as well, and I loved every minute of it. And for my master's degree, I transferred to Ferrum to get some more playing time at quarterback, because I realized that I wanted to find a way to keep playing after college, no matter what that may be.
Right.
And I went to Ferrum and got some playing time and was able to get enough on film, and that was a goal. But I loved every Richmond. I loved every moment of Ferrum. So
yeah,
it was just a great journey for me in college. I missed it a lot. I really do. But I loved it. I really did.
Yeah.
So.
And so during your time there, you actually went to the University of Richmond for 5 years.
I did.
And did that have something to do with COVID?
Kind of. So like, I don't know if you're familiar with how college sports work, but you can get like a red shirt, which means when you first get to college, you take normally people like freshmen who don't play will take a red shirt. So it's basically that year doesn't count, but you get to be on the team, practice and all that. And you can play up to 4 games is like the rule now, but basically you get a whole nother year of eligibility. So my freshman year, I took a red shirt. And then when COVID came around, everybody that was a college athlete at that time was granted an extra year of eligibility because of COVID. Because we got like a year, but we only got like 4 games, I think. So it wasn't really like a season. So the NCAA granted us more eligibility. So when I graduated in 4 years at the University of Richmond, and I started my master's degree there, and I had that extra year of eligibility for football. And I wanted to finish out my college career. I feel like I would have regretted it if I just had one sitting there knowing I never used it. So yeah. I was like, you know what, I'm going to transfer. And I started looking for places with my graduate program, which was education. And I had a buddy, Kenny Lockey, who he just graduated this past weekend. But he went to Ferrum College, and I called him. I was like, because I noticed they had the program, and he was like, yeah, man, I think that would be awesome. So we ended up working it out. I ended up going and finishing up my master's degree there. But yes, COVID kind of played a part in it, in the fact that it gave me an extra year of eligibility. So yeah. I was able to go work out or make it work out there. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And so you're at First Flight High School, your coach, Jim Prince. I've seen articles where he basically called you a standout for that school. And then going to Richmond, obviously it's a much bigger division and different kind of playing field there, and so you had to kind of learn you weren't a standout originally, like when you first got on the team. So tell us about that experience.
That's hard, you know, like that's something that not a lot of people understand.
Right.
Like you get to college, like I don't know how to explain it. Like it's a bigger pool. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's difficult. It is, and you have to kind of sit back and like learn your role. And like I said, I got there and I just never was the guy at quarterback, and that's okay. You know, and I found my role in other places. But it's a hard pill to swallow at first, but you learn to deal with it, and you learn to find your role in other places, like I said, and just being a part of a team like that, and like, it's bigger than yourself, you know what I mean? So like, you just soak it in, and I really miss every minute of it. Like if I could go back right now, I totally would. Yeah. So yes, man, I miss it so much. But yeah, it is tough, and a lot of college athletes go. Like when they first get to college, go through that because it's very common, like to get there and you're not going to be the guy right away.
Yeah, especially at the bigger schools.
Oh yeah, absolutely, or any college level really. So it's tough at first. It's tough at first, but it's all part of the process.
Nice.
So.
And how did you decide what you were going to study?
So when I was growing up, I told this story to someone the other day. They asked me like, where did your interest in languages? Where did it begin? And when I was a little kid, I remember trying to make up my own language, like just messing around, like seeing like, and I know I would pretend like I could speak other languages, like just as a kid, like pretending. And then like, so the interest in languages was always there. Right. And when I was about in 8th grade, I started learning Spanish and with some of my friends. And I stuck through it through high school and learned it. And then when I got to college, I was like, I'm just going to follow that passion and just keep doing it. So I decided to major in Latin American and Latino and Iberian studies, basically Spanish, and that's how I chose to study Spanish because that like love for language and like linguistics in itself has just always been a part of my life. So that's how I decided.
That's really cool. Mm-hmm. And so then, what led you to pursue a master's degree in education?
Because I thought, so my grandma was a teacher. And I always thought like maybe I could be a teacher at some point, and I didn't know if I would want to be one, but I was like, I'm gonna get my master's degree in education because why not? And like it's a program that interested me. I could still use like Spanish within that. Like how would I be a Spanish teacher? You know what I'm saying? So like I still had like, and in my degree I kind of focused my studies around being a Spanish teacher. So I could still keep my passion in there and keep playing football and get a master's degree. So it all worked out perfect.
Yeah, very cool. And did you do any tutoring along the way or any other?
I did actually. During COVID, I tutored some of the kids online in this area that I think it's the DLI program, and who were basically kids growing up speaking Spanish in an immersion program, which I think is awesome, by the way. I think that's awesome that they have that here. Yeah. And so I tutored some of them. I also, right now I'm tutoring one of my buddy's grandparents, her grandma, and she's doing an awesome job. So yeah, I still offer tutoring. I did offer tutoring, so I didn't do it a whole lot, but whenever anybody would need help, I try to help, of course.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. And then you just started a part-time teaching job with Mania Middle.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I love it so much. I'm teaching ESL over there, and the kids are great, and Mania's great. All the staff are so welcoming, and I love it. I love it. Just being able to help the kids and make a difference is something that I'm very passionate about, and I really enjoy it.
Yeah. So. And so you'll be leaving kind of early.
Yeah, I'll be leaving like a few weeks early before they get out. So I'll be leaving at the end of this month. But I plan to be involved like while I'm in the season over there, like through I think it goes until November. I'm going to try to somehow be involved with ESL still, like maybe online or somehow. I haven't figured out exactly how I'm going to do it, but I'd love to like, see how they progress and stay a part of their lives in some sort of way.
Yeah, so definitely.
We'll figure that out, though. We'll figure that out.
Yeah, so at the end of May, you're going to move to Brazil.
Yes, ma'am.
For 6 months, and you did that last year as well.
I did.
So how did that opportunity come about?
Okay, so after I finished my master's degree at Fairman, football was presumably over for me. I thought it was, over. And I went through a really like dark period of like, what am I going to do? It was sort of like an identity crisis because I've been an athlete my whole life and all of a sudden I wasn't.
Yeah.
And, it was kind of like, who am I now, So one of my buddies called me who played with me in college, and he called me out of the blue. He was like, hey man, how are you doing? I was like, to be honest, man, I'm not doing too good. And he was like, and I explained the situation, like I miss football, I miss, all of that. And he was like, you should get on Euro Players. and it's a website, and it's basically like Euro players, as in European, like I'm assuming that's what it stands for, but it's really the whole world, because football has grown around the world. So I got on there, I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. I get on there, I put my film, I put my information, and two teams reach out, one team from Germany and one team from Brazil. And I was like, I'm going to Brazil. So I ended up getting in contact with the coach, and we made it work out. And long story short, I ended up down there, and it was awesome. Like we made it happen. They got me a flight and went there, and it was great. So that's how I got into it.
Yeah, and so you play for an American football team
In Brazil.
In Brazil.
Yes.
Is it in Fortaleza?
It is in Fortaleza.
Okay, very cool. And so that's, I looked it up, it was the 4th largest city in Brazil.
I believe it is. Yeah. It's a big city. It's beautiful. It's right on the coast. Similar to Miami, I'd say, in terms of architecture, but it's which is awesome, and it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful city. So.
So it's on the Atlantic, but it's a city instead of here.
Yes, exactly. It's on the Atlantic, but it's like Miami. You know, it's like a lot more cityfied. If that really urban area. So.
Yeah. What were the best parts about being there?
Oh, the people. The people are just, they welcomed me like family immediately. It was just such an awesome experience. Like, and I've got great friends. I'm so excited to go see them. Like, the connections that I made with them and the relationships are so strong. Even like, they'll be friends for the rest of my life. That's how, they're just great people. And the beach was always, of course, like being from the beach here, like I love the beach. So that was beautiful. And the football was great. And it was just a great vibe and just an awesome area to spend 6 months of my life, and I'm excited to go do that again.
Yeah. How warm was it when you were playing football?
It wasn't warm, it was hot. Yeah, it was constantly hot, and it was, but you know, you get used to it. When I first got there, I couldn't sleep at all, like, because we didn't have AC in the house. Like, it's just part of, that's like I think that's more of a cultural thing. Like, some people have AC in their house, but like, normally they just use fans. And like, they're all used to that. It's like nothing to them. But for me, when I got there, I was like it was just bad. So, but eventually I got used to it, and just sort of assimilated into the aspects of the culture that was like a culture shock to me, and just sort of got used to that. And it was awesome. It was cool. Because I minored in anthropology at the University of Richmond, so culture is something that's really interesting to me. And something that they kind of go hand in hand with language.
Absolutely.
Culture and language. So it was just, I was eating it up. I loved every part. I loved learning about, why do you do this? Oh, that's kind of different. You know, things like that. It was just really fascinating to me. So
yeah,
really
very cool. And so did you learn Portuguese while you were there?
I did. Well, in college I took a Portuguese class because my studies were Latin American, Latino, and Iberian studies, which includes the Iberian Peninsula, which is Portugal, and I guess Latin America as well. Brazil's in it, so it included all of that. So I was able to take a Portuguese class, and because it's so similar to Spanish, I was able to get a pretty good foundation. And then once I moved there, I learned it really quickly because you're always speaking it. So I learned like the northeastern accent. So that's kind of what I speak with, and I think it's just beautiful accent and a beautiful language. So. It really is. It's like a song, the way it sounds, so it's really pretty.
Definitely. Yeah. That's very cool. Well, what else do you want to share about your life so far? I know you've been doing some acting as well.
Yeah. So I got into that. In the University of Richmond, I took an acting class. And I've always been interested in art in general. And I just wanted to stick with it. So some of the TV shows I like, I was able to get on them, and it was really cool, and I'm still doing that. Like, I'm not that focused on it right now because I have other focuses. But like, I love the art. Like, I really want to make my own films. You know what I mean? Because I can kind of control what I put in there, and like, you know, because film has a lot of influence. You know what I mean? And I want it to be positive. You know what I mean? Right. So the things that I make, I want it to have a positive influence on people, and like inspiring and stuff like that. So. But I love art in general. Like, any kind of art, like, sticks out to me. So yeah. And
I saw you got background actor roles in Cobra Kai and the show The Outer Banks.
Yes. So yeah, I did a couple other shows, and they're in post-production. But Yeah, I had a good time with it. I really did. It was fun. Got to meet great people. All the actors, all the people there were just so nice. It was just a great experience. I got friends from there. Like it's cool. Like I got friends from so many different things that are like really close. Like we're really close, and you know, you just never know who you're gonna meet and who's gonna be a great part of your life. And like it was a blessing for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
That's very cool. And where did you go for the filming for those shows?
For Outer Banks? So for Outer Banks, I spent some time in Charleston, and I went back and forth probably starting in 2023, the summer of 2023. I went for a couple days, and then they went on I guess they went on a writer strike, or I can't remember exactly what the strike was about, like writers or the actors or somebody went on strike, and they took like a year off. Or not a year, a couple months, but basically enough for my football season to end and me to be able to go back and act into the show until I went to Brazil. So, so I spent a lot of time in Charleston. They filmed the scene in Wilmington that I was able to go to. And for Cobra Kai, I only went one time for Cobra Kai, and that was in Atlanta.
Okay.
So it was cool though. It was awesome.
That's really neat.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and so what would you tell the up-and-coming generations of kids here who might be interested in football or acting or languages?
Right. Yeah, so I would say whatever your passions are, just always keep your faith in God and just chase those by hard work. You know what I mean? Whatever you want to do, if you want to be an athlete, go be an athlete. Go work out, go do your thing, go train, be a leader, be a great teammate. That's the most thing. Be a great teammate, take accountability. Do the things that you need to do to be a good person in whatever you decide to do, and make connections, and just always be kind, and and it'll take you where you need to go for sure. Just kindness and hard work, and you'll be fine.
Anything else you wanted to add?
I just appreciate you guys having me.
Of course, we appreciate you coming on.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Best of luck in Brazil this time.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Down the Road. All of our episodes, as well as all of our exclusive reporting, is available at www.outerbanksnews.org. You can become a subscriber today to get early access to all the shows. Thank you so much for watching.